source is the place, Hugging Face is the place you want to come to if you don't want to pay subscription, right? If you don't want to, maybe you're just starting up, you know, and there isn't a lot of money, and you want to leverage generative AI. You want to, you know, leverage the power of generative AI, right? And the amazing thing about Hugging Face is that there are no-code platforms. There are no-code platforms, you know, low-code platforms that give you. Can we just welcome Mrs. Pamela? Okay, so there are gifts today for questions and answers. So you can see here text to image, image to text, text to voice, visual questioning, answering. So this is a multi-modal, you know, model, right? You can see here computer vision, object detection, you know, and what you can use this for.
So is it multi-language or multimodal?
Multimodal. Yes, modal. M-O-D-A-L. Right. So there are low-code platforms. Maybe later on I will send resources because I'm just sharing this. I was just sharing this to buy time and do it.
You're sharing to buy time?
So everybody to come to.
No, is this not part of our class?
It is, ma'am. But it's like a bonus. It's a bonus.
Hugging Face is important for everybody to know.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Are they able to access it?
Yes. Have you guys been able to access it? Yes. So what will happen is I will share with you maybe at the end of. It's working. That's what I'm using. So what I'll do is that at the end of our training, I'll share with you like a document, a step-to-step, you know, instruction follow-up you can use if you want to implement some of these solutions, or you just want to play with them. It can be very helpful. Maybe you want a proof of concept, you want something you can just, let me give you a very, very interesting understanding about this, for example. Now you see this computer vision, right? Like this object detection. Imagine that you are a startup and you want to solve, I don't know if you've seen videos on Instablog, online, of people stealing things, you know, and then they're now watching the video after, and then people are always complaining, why can't someone be stationed there, right? Now, object detection can allow for you to, you know, connect this model, this language model, this model to your camera, so that whenever a human being comes into, you know, that camera focus, it picks it. But this is where it gets very interesting. Maybe I'll show us a demo later. You can now classify all the products also in your maybe store or whatsoever. Let's use ShopRite as an example. So if someone picks something, it has a box. If you've seen it before, the person and then the product. If that person does not end up paying for it, you can just, you know, set up an alarm. Maybe there can be a small unit. Because when you, and this can be your idea as a security startup. This can be what you do. You can partner with someone that sells CCTV cameras, right? And then say, this is what we do as a startup. Or, you know, if you work, I don't know if there's someone who you work in like a security company, maybe you work in halogen or whatever. This is something that you can scale without having to program, you know, train, because the compute needed to train a model. Google spent $186 million to train, you know, Gemini 1.5. So you can imagine the GPU, one GPU from NVIDIA is like $40,000, right? So you can imagine if you want to say, oh, I like generative AI and I just want to scale this myself, you're going to lose. So put this down. Have you opened Cohere? Have you opened Cohere? So let's just do a quick exercise. Open Cohere, open ChatGPT, open Meta AI, open Claude AI. Then I want you to create a prompt, and I want us, let's test the strengths, although it's different every time, but let's test the strengths and the weaknesses of these models. Is the internet working?
No.
Huh? No. It's not working. Okay. It's like, oh, do you want us to skip this exercise? Okay. I want to show you, because you see, many of us, we do not leverage, we do not know how interesting these language models can be. In fact, they're not multi-modal language models can be. Let me give you an inference. Do you know that cloud.ai can generate a website for you? You know, and you can copy the code. You know, but ChatGPT will not do that. ChatGPT will just show you the code. Do you understand? So you need to know the strength, you need to know the offerings of these different models. So that as a product designer, maybe for example, you want to, let me give you an inference. I don't know if you've ever maybe contacted a graphics designer to make something for you. You can see the image in your heart. You know what you want, but you're struggling to communicate it to the graphics designer. And it looks like you're just frustrating the graphics designer, so you just pass on it. Have you been there before? But with AI now, you can say, you know what, this is what I want, and then send the graphic designer, let me give you an inference. So I founded, an organization, and then I wanted to brand it, I wanted a logo. So, Gemini, they have a very, very interesting image 3 model now that generates very, very amazing, images. So it generated a logo for me. Then I now paid, a very, very good, graphics designer, in fact, a brand specialist, and even an illustrator, to create a logo for me. It took him like 4 weeks. I'm not even kidding you. When he sent me the logo, guess what it was? Just guess what it was. It was the exact logo that Gemini gave me. He used Gemini. But I couldn't say anything. I had to pay him. I couldn't say, oh, because you use Gemini, I won't pay you. But that shows you that although, now he render it and do some other things, give me high definition, PNG, and etc. But that shows you that people are now getting work done in shorter periods of time. And if you're a boss here, I just want to say, please, you'd see amazing things that, your team can do, but there's the ethical side of it in terms of, their mental health. So as you drive for, excellence, as you drive for more things being done, let's not overemphasize the ability of AI. You understand? Let's ensure that we can set KPIs, we can set metrics to check that the people are being productive. Let me give you an inference. Talking about traditional coding, for example, how many of you know about Cursor AI? Cursor AI. Who is a traditional programmer here? Traditional programmer. So Cursor AI is like an IDE, right? You know what an IDE is, right? Yes, just like Visual Code Studio, and etc. where you program, that can literally generate code for you through natural processing language. Do you understand? So if you remember, if any of you here have ever used ChatGPT to code, maybe from like 2 years ago or last year, you will notice that there's a lot of bugs sometimes. You have to go back and forth, although it has improved now. But you see, Cursor AI, and then there are many other platforms. They're now leveraging Gen AI. In fact, the other day I was working on a neural network, right, for breast cancer detection. So usually I use Jupyter Notebook, right, in my Anaconda IDE, right? But I decided to use Google Colab. I've not used Google Colab in a long time, right? Google Colab is an environment for you to do data analysis, data science on the web. And you can use, so the advantage of Google Colab is that they have like a computer you can use, GPU and TPU. So I was, just writing in my Python, and guess what? It was predicting all the code from the beginning to the end. It will show me all the code. I'm not even exaggerating. I'm serious. When you start with your, import numpy as NP. Sorry, let me not bore you with all of that. Every single detail. So that's the future. And I said to myself, so it means that a time will come that traditional programmers will not really be needed. A time will come that roles will change because there's Gen AI. The only thing is you just need to understand the framework, do you get what I'm trying to say? So we're coming to a point where as product managers, you will no longer say, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. You will no longer have to pay a bill of $20,000, $5,000, or you no longer have to give to the Indians. And I don't really hard, but sometimes you have to give them to, work on stuff, and etc. So I'm going to pass this to us. This is like, a worksheet. If you don't belong to an organization, no problem. You can think about an organization you've been with before. I want you to, it's going to be like a worksheet to check your AI readiness, right? You would take it home, you would look at it, and then it will help you gauge where you are and then where you need to be.